Hello, this is Martha with Living the One Light. So today I am wanting to talk about a really powerful special energy that I'm feeling so strongly today and this week. I'm recording this video on March 20th, 2023. So today is the equinox. I'm recording this about 2 hours after the equinox was exact, when the sun went into Aries. And tomorrow, March 21st, we are having a new moon at 0 degrees of Aries. And then on Thursday, this Thursday, March 23rd, Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius. So this is like unbelievably powerful week. And when I was doing my prayers this morning, I got woken up really, really early in the morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep because what was coming through in my prayers was so strong, so powerful, so intense. And the main theme, or the vision that I was getting shown over and over and over again, was that this energetic starting today, this is, could be true for you or not, but this is what I was getting, is that this is an energetic of not only new beginnings, but like on a mega dose level. I was hearing it's like 0 point start over, start fresh. And we hear that a lot. We feel, I felt that many, many, many times, but what I'm feeling in this particular version of this restart energy is probably the most profound I've felt that I can remember, at least. It's incredibly powerful. So I wanted to drop in and just say a little bit more about that, and also bring in a little bit about the Kuiper belt objects, because I've been getting very drawn to those, as well as the Oort cloud. So maybe that's all new to you, I'm not sure, but so I want to bring those in a little bit because they tie in very strongly to this new beginnings theme, and into the theme of, like lots of things changing sign right now. Okay, so where to begin? So I'll start with the actual opportunity that I'm feeling. I'll start with the message I'm getting from the spirit world and in my own praying and my own self, which again is, often I've felt the sense that it's a new start, it's a new beginning. There are constantly cycles, and therefore cycles are constantly at every stage of cycling, including beginnings and endings and middle and quarters and anywhere in that cycle. But so it's not a new thing to feel like there's a beginning or an ending. But what I've been feeling extra strongly in the last week or two, and then particularly strongly today, is this sense of us being asked or called or given this opportunity, this chance to really, really start fresh, like on a karmic level, come to a point where, again, only if this feels right, and only in the ways it feels right for you or for anybody. But many of us are here on the planet to do something that maybe we haven't done before. I don't know. I have a pretty strong sense of a lot of my own past lives and other people's past lives, but I can't say for certain we've never done this. Maybe, I'm sure in some dimension somewhere we have, but it feels different and feels new to me in what I can feel in my own memory of myself, for sure. And And what that difference is that, again, I'll speak for myself. I can remember infinite lifetimes on this planet and in other dimensions, existences, all simultaneously. I experience them as all simultaneously happening. So there's a past and there's a present and there's a future, but it's actually all one moment in a sense. And so when we've had this many infinite lifetimes like that, like, again, speaking for myself, there are bazillions of storylines that we've lived out, and they often have a theme. They often have karmic threads that are running through them. So again, speaking for myself, in my own past, in my own history, and these past lives that I can sense and remember, some of them very, very clearly, there's a very strong theme around the feminine and masculine being in a destructive dance with each other, right? That's pretty common on this planet, because that's a lot of what's gone on for much of humanity, especially in our living memory. And so again, I'll speak for myself. In this lifetime, some of those dynamics have played out in either in real life or just simply in the energetic between me and other people, or I've seen it play out in my work. Like I worked for a long time as a social worker, so even the things that maybe haven't occurred in my own life, they're pretty horrific. And luckily they haven't occurred in my own personal life. I've seen it play out both in where I grew up as a kid, because I grew up in lots of parts of the world where there's especially strong violence against women. And not that, and there is also where I live currently in the United States, but it was more, stark in my awareness where I grew up. And then also I saw it play out a lot in the lives of my clients as a social worker. So we have these karmic storylines that have played out in our past lives, in other existences, in our own current life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's part of like life on Earth. And that's all real. It's not real. And we might come to a point, which is what I'm currently feeling in my own life, and I feel like it's an opportunity for the collective too, again, only as it's right for you, only as it's right, in the moment that it's right. But I am feeling this opportunity generally for us to acknowledge that karmic past, to acknowledge what has gone on, those storylines that are, have played out and that are very real in their own ways. And not to deny them, but to come to a place energetically where we can shift them, where we can really choose to let them go. So where we are choosing energetically to begin to interface with the world with a different, fresh template, so that our energy instincts aren't necessarily tied anymore to those stories that have played out for eons in our past or in other existences. And again, speaking for myself, I'm part of my reason for being here on the planet is absolutely to hold space for the healing of our relationships to gender and sexuality. So, I've been holding these symposium. I held a symposium last summer, and I'm going to be doing it again this summer, called Rebecoming the One, where I've been interviewing dozens and dozens of people and really holding space for healing of our relationships to gender and sexuality, literally. So that is absolutely part of why I'm here on the planet. And in my case, again, I'm speaking for myself just to keep it, I don't want to generalize and have it not feel true for you. So you decide if this feels true for you. But in my case, I also recognize that in order for me to truly be able to hold that space in the most clean, ultimately healing way, I need to do whatever I possibly can to let go of my own stories, my own karma. And again, not to pretend they don't exist, but to acknowledge they exist, have compassion and empathy for the reality that they do have existed, and therefore I can relate to a lot of things that go on in this world. And I have a lot of passion about it. I have a lot of desire, deep desire to help the healing, because I have been there, right? Or not everything, but like certain basic themes. And yet, in order for me to truly be a grounded, open, clear, healing channel, which is my big part of my role, and that space holder, I need to let the stories go. I need to recognize that they are just stories, not just in the sense of not true, but they're one version of how energy can move. They're not the ultimate truth of the divine. They're not the ultimate truth of source. And therefore, it's time now for me to clear that, come into a new template, a new, like the spirit world said, a 0 point place in myself. Okay, so that's the theme. And now I will explain a bit about the astrology. So and then I also want to share about an opportunity coming up this coming weekend, which is uncanny timing for the astrology that's happening and these themes that are happening at this, fresh start. And that I'll say more about it at the end, but this weekend, starting on Friday, March 24th, and then March 25th, 26th, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I am co-hosting an online virtual retreat for 3 days with 9 other women who are all either psychotherapists, healers, they're, therapeutic yoga instructor, all different types of practitioners who are dedicated to holding space for us to do this, to come into a new way of being, to release, let go of our old patterning, our old ways of being, things that bring up anxiety, or, to release trauma, and to learn skills to come into a thriving in life, and to heal our nervous systems and feel good. That's really what it comes down to. Have fun, relax, fully relax, feel held. So that retreat is available. It's going to be recorded. You do not need to be there live. It will go from 10 a.m. Pacific to 4 p.m. Pacific each day for those 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, March 24th, 25th, 26th. And I'll be there the whole time. And these other 9 women will each of us will be giving a workshop, an hour to hour and a half workshop throughout those 3 days. But I will be there holding the space for the whole thing. Yeah, and so the link is here with the video. I'll say a little bit more at the end, but back to the astrology. Okay, so like I already said, today, March 20th, is the Aries equinox. That means that the sun has now gone into Aries. So 0 degrees of Aries is the very, 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 very first degree of the whole zodiac. So that's just that moment of the sun entering Aries is often thought of as a fresh start, new beginning. Then on top of that, next to that, tomorrow, March 21st, there is a new moon at 0 degrees Aries. So a new moon is also a start, a fresh, a starting moment, a seed being planted. So there's the equinox, which is this beginning of the zodiac year. The next day is this new moon at 0 degrees Aries. So beginning, lots of beginning energy here. And then 2 days later, on Thursday, March 23rd, Pluto is entering Aquarius. Again, beginning. And now I want to bring in the Kuiper belt objects for a second. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Kuiper belt, what that actually means, I want to show you briefly what it is, because it is so cool. And I want to give you a chance to understand it a little bit. So I'm going to share my screen and show you. I've shown you this map in a different video, but I want to show it to you here again to show you what the Kuiper belt actually is, and and how it compares to the asteroid belt. Okay, so this is a website on made by NASA. It's an interactive, really cool solar system website. I highly recommend it. It is solarsystem.nasa.gov. Okay, so when you scroll, when you zoom in, there's the sun, obviously in the middle of our solar system. Then we have the first planet, which is Mercury, then Venus. So you can see their orbits here. Here's the orbit of Earth. Then then is the orbit of Mars. And this is a little bit tricky to accurately do here. Okay. So after we get to the orbit of Mars, then the next planet is Jupiter. But in between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter, we have this whole asteroid belt. So it's, hundreds and hundreds of asteroids that are between Mars and Jupiter. And some of, so the biggest asteroid is Ceres, which is actually so big that it is classified as a dwarf planet. But lots of the other asteroids are here, like Vesta, Psyche, Eros, on and on, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Okay, so again, the asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter. Then you keep going out in our solar system. You next get to Saturn, which is the outermost planet that is visible without a telescope. So it was often thought of as the end point of our solar system, but it's not. Next, we have the orbit of Uranus, then Neptune, then Pluto. Okay, so Pluto is now thought of as actually being the first discovered planetary body in what is called the Kuiper belt. And the Kuiper belt is this spherical set of objects that do orbit around the sun, but a lot of them have highly elliptical orbits and also are not on the plane, orbiting on the same plane as most of our more known planets, right? So their orbit will often sort of be off of our ecliptic, and that means that it's they're doing their own little journey, or big journey, very big journey. So Eris is another one. Eris Xena, originally called Xena. Eris was originally named Xena, is one of the other Kuiper belt objects that's well known and talked about in astrology. And I'm actually going to be doing a free talk on Eris Xena for EA Zoom meetings in April, on April 20th, I want to say. If you are interested in that, please email me, let me know. Make sure you're on my email list. You can sign up for my email list for free at livingtheonelight@gmail.com. I mean, sorry, livingtheonelight.com. And yeah, I'll be sending out more information about that soon. So anyway, but yes, I will be doing a free talk on Eris Xena. She's very powerful, very important. And so then also with Pluto and Eris Xena, there are, a bunch of other Kuiper belt objects, including Haumea, Makemake, and on and on and on. Lots and lots and lots and lots being discovered. And they're just starting to be talked about in astrology. Then I'll just also point out that even farther out than the Kuiper belt is something called the Oort cloud, which in what I'm reading, is largely actually theoretical, but there are now 3 objects that have been seen that are thought to be part of this, what has been a theoretical, something called an Oort cloud, which is this humongous area around our solar system that has objects that orbit our sun, but their orbits go so far out, they actually also touch or come very close to other star systems. So one example, the first one discovered of that is of the Oort cloud is thought to be Sedna. And Sedna, Pluto has an orbit of 246, 248 years. Eris, which is much, much, much farther out than Pluto, has an orbit of, I think, is 557 years. It's 500 something years. So that's, extremely long orbit. But in contrast, Sedna, which is thought to be part of the Oort cloud, has an orbit of over 11,000 years. So you get the sense here that Pluto, we think of Pluto as having a really, really, really long orbit. Eris Xena has basically double the orbit of Pluto, but Sedna's orbit is what, let's see, do the math, 22 times the orbit of Eris Xena. So Sedna is incredibly we really can't lump Sedna in with these, Eris, Xena, and Pluto, and all of the Kuiper belt objects, because she's gone so far away from our sun, and now she's coming back, and she's almost to the closest point that she gets toward our sun. And yeah, she's coming from so far away, that it's just a really different energy. Anyway, okay, so all of this is absolutely fascinating. And my point is that when we add in the Kuiper belt objects, just like adding in the asteroids, for me, it adds in such a different flavor and really emphasizes certain themes. So I could go on and on and on and on and on, and I'm still just learning about these Kuiper belt objects, etc. But the big theme that is calling to me and that I'm getting shown in my praying is that so many of these bodies are also echoing that theme of the new beginnings. So they move really, really slowly. And they're not, most of them are not on our ecliptic. So their orbits, you know, it's like, need to take a little bit with a grain of salt what signs they're in, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's something I'm still learning about. So I'm saying that with a caveat, that I'm still learning these things. But several of these objects are in the middle of changing signs along with Pluto. So Pluto is on Thursday going from Capricorn into Aquarius. It's going to be going back and forth from between Capricorn and Aquarius until November, December 2024, next year. In addition, Haumea just entered Scorpio. So Haumea is another one of the Kuiper belt objects. And then Manway, the Manway is the one I really wanted to mention. Manway is currently at 1 degree of Aries. So this new moon is essentially conjunct Manway. And I'm going to look at my list really quickly here. Yeah, okay, right. And Sedna, which again is not one of the Kuiper belt objects, it's super, 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 super far away. I mean, not currently far away, but it goes anyway, it's in a different category from the Kuiper belt objects. But it also is at the very, 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 very last minutes of Taurus, and it's about to enter Gemini. So Pluto, Manway, Haumea, and Sedna are all at this, you know, changing of signs degrees, either, you know, very, very, very end of the sign they're in, or the very, very, very beginning of the sign they're in. And yeah, so as Pluto is entering Aquarius, lots of us are talking about Pluto entering Aquarius, but I'm feeling these other bodies talking, like wanting to say, hey, it's not just Pluto. It's not just Pluto sitting out here. We have voices too. We have things we need to be adding into this story. And yeah, and I feel called to talk about them more and more and more. Like I said, I'm going to be doing that free talk on Eris Xena. The goddess series that I'm doing includes Eris Xena, includes Sedna, and we'll, you know, over the next year, we'll be incorporating more of these Kuiper belt objects and Oort cloud objects as they call to us. And they're really calling to me. Like there's something very significant about their presence, and the reality that they exist, that just needs to be named, needs to be acknowledged, needs to be, it's wanting to be part of our life and part of our story. And I haven't quite figured out what all of that feels like or means for me. But I wanted to bring it into this video. I want to start bringing it into my videos because there's something really significant about them. So in this video, I just want to briefly highlight Manway, because Manway is, again, at 1 degree of Aries. And so this new moon in Aries at almost 1 degree of Aries is conjunct Manway. So I want to briefly show you and credit Kelly Hunter, who is a wonderful astrologer who does a lot of work on the Kuiper belt objects. And I want to let you know about this article that she wrote. It's the only information I've been able to find up till now that's actually really helped me understand Manway and his partner Varda. This is a really beautiful article, again, written by Kelly Hunter, and I want to read you just a tiny brief section of it so you can get a sense of who Manway is. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again. And so yeah, this article is, you can find it from the Time Lords magazine. of the CIA, the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. But I actually found it on Astrodienst, astro.com. And I'll put the link with the video. So yeah, so Kelly talks about Manwë and his partner Varda as being Tolkien's twin flames. So they are, I don't know how I feel about the twin flame theory, but the Manwë and Varda characters are actually part of a novel that was written by Tolkien but published after his death by his son. And they both call to me so strongly, so strongly. I'm gonna talk, but I'm gonna skip Varda just for now. I'll come back to her another time because wow, she's beautiful, amazing. But Manwë, which is again what this new moon is conjunct, was discovered on August 25th, 2003, around the same time that lots of these Kuiper belt objects were discovered. And I am going to, yeah, I'll just read you this first little bit here because it's so beautiful. Okay. So Manwë was discovered on August 25th, 2003 by M.W. Bui at the Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatory in northern Chile. Its companion object is named Thorondor, who ruled over eagles and later became Gandalf. I want to learn more about that one because I love Gandalf. Manwë is named for the chief of the Valor, the 14 archangels who came from the throne of Ilúvatar to enter the world and to create it. His mind is of the highest divine intelligence and most closely tuned to the original divine vision. Which reminds me a lot of Uranus. By his name Sulimo, he is known as the breath of the world, lord of air, winds, and birds. And again, that reminds me a lot of Uranus. From the JPL site, in J.R.R. Tolkien's mythology, Manwë is foremost among the deities who rule the world. Manwë takes special responsibility for the air and winds. He resides in the undying lands across the Western Ocean from Middle-earth. For intelligence of events in Middle-earth, Manwë relies on the kingdom of eagles led by Thorondor. Super beautiful. Makes me want to read the book. Makes me want to learn more about this. Yeah. So a lot of these Kuiper belt objects are gods or named after gods and goddesses or characters like Aries or these Tolkien characters who in various ways are associated with either creation mythology, like their creation deities, or they have some kind of powerful healing properties, or so when I'm tuning into this Kuiper belt in general and maybe what it's trying to awaken in us or help us to remember, there's something. Again, I'm still feeling into it, and I love your thoughts. I think this is a collective endeavor. I don't think that I'm going to have the answers, or any one person is going to have the answers. So really, truly, I would love to hear from you. But at this moment, when I currently feel into them, it's like I feel them trying to say, step back, step way back. And I feel the Oort cloud actually saying, step back even farther, even, more and more and more far, because space is infinite. Our solar system even is tiny compared to our galaxy, and our galaxy is tiny compared to all the infinite galaxies. And so what we are feeling and seeing in astrology is so minuscule compared to the reality of existence. And so I feel like the Kuiper belt objects, and especially the Oort cloud objects, which includes Sedna and others that are now being discovered very slowly, but it's happening. I feel them calling us to just, again, take a bigger view, step back, remember that we're not just, okay. We often, as humans, I think, forget that we're the earth. We are the earth. We are part of the earth. The earth exists. We're not on her. We are her. Our bodies are made of her. So there's that. But then the solar system helps us remember, oh, we're not just the earth. We're our solar system. And the Kuiper belt helps us remember, oh, we're not only, just the planets that we think of, we're even bigger than that. We extend beyond just the solar system, or just the part of the solar system we tend to think about. And then the Oort cloud is pulling us even to a bigger sense of consciousness and saying, yeah, we're not only just this solar system, we actually interact, just like Sedna, we have a part of us that goes between the star systems, literally. So she, in her 11,000 plus year orbit, goes toward other star systems and comes back to our solar system. And I would say that's just like us. Like, we are all of it. We are everything. And we're not only just the Oort cloud. I mean, the Oort cloud is tiny compared to our galaxy, compared to infinite galaxies, compared to all of time and space. So there's something in these outer beings, these Kuiper belt objects and the Oort cloud and all of that, certainly one component to me is that it's helping to expand our consciousness and our awareness of ourselves as beings of existence. There's more, though. There's many more layers I can feel there. And yeah, they're just starting to talk to me. So I'm trying to listen and see if there's anything else that wants to be said right now about them. Okay. Another component that I'm feeling right now is they're saying, like, with the way they're being named about after many creation deities, is that we are also part of creation. We are creator, we are created, we are the life force of the all that is. And we often forget that, and we need to come back online with that. Oh, which brings me to an extremely important point. Extremely important. Don't want to forget this. And then I will end this video. Yes. Another major energy from the asteroid belt, not the Kuiper belt, but from the, the asteroid belt that's between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter. Eros. Super key. I mentioned this in the Eros talk that I gave, which you can still access for free on the EA Zoom channel, and it's also linked on my channel. And I probably mentioned this in other talks too. When Pluto enters Aquarius, what's going to follow within within a day? Eros. Eros will also be going. Eros basically is going to be conjunct Pluto as it enters Aquarius. So that, among so many other things happening in the astrology this year, including Jupiter going into Taurus and going retrograde in Taurus, and all of the Mercury retrogrades being in Earth signs, and the Venus retrograde being in Leo opposite Eros as it goes retrograde. Lots and lots of themes are repeating that I feel are bringing us back over and over again to the reality that we are Earth. And I feel Eros conjunct Pluto as Pluto enters Aquarius, not only emphasizing the reality that we are Earth, but also emphasizing the reality that Pluto transformation, there's this call to transform remember, redo our whole relationship to Eros, to life force energy, to sexuality, to the energetic structure of the reality that we are sexual beings. But again, not so much in the reality that we may or may not be having sex. That's not the point. The point is there's a remembering of the healing and just the literal reality that we are created from Eros. We are life force energy, which to me is what Eros is. We are the energy of source, life force energy of source, Eros. And I'll say more about that because that's a whole other topic, but it's like what I keep getting reminded is that just like we have a respiratory system, we have a cardiovascular system, we have a nervous system, you know, we have the meridian system, like in Chinese medicine, we have all these systems of our bodies. One of the systems of our bodies is this creative life force energy system, or our sexual energy. But it's not, again, it's not about sex in the sense of having sex or reproducing even. That's all related, but there's a flow of energy in our bodies that needs to be centered, grounded, aligned. And what the spirit world keeps telling me is like, no matter what your age, you can be 105, you could like not feel sexual at all, but this creative life force energy needs to be grounded, aligned, clicked in, like fully healthy. Just like our respiratory system needs to be healthy, our cardiovascular system needs to be healthy, our nervous system needs to be healthy. All of this, all at the same time, needs to be online, just as a given, not because you feel sexually attractive or not, or because you have a partner or you don't, or you're, have what you consider a good sex life or not. That's not the point. Again, it's related. But this is just reality that we all are this, and it is part of health and well-being, that energetic doesn't get pushed aside and treated as something different or special or only deserving. You only deserve it if XYZ. No. Just like we need air in our lungs, our blood needs to be pumped by our heart. This life force energy is who we are and has a role, needs to be fully there for us to be fully alive. So to me, that's Eros conjunct Pluto as it's entering Aquarius, is like this incredibly powerful opportunity for us to redo how we think of divine sexuality, essentially. And Hygeia is going to be conjunct Eros a bunch of times over the next several months. And so the healing of this Eros energy as well, and our relationship to it and all that. So much there. Okay. So in terms of the retreat is, again, going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, March 24th, 25th, 26th. It's going to be entirely recorded. If you're watching this video after the fact, please, you can sign up for it still. I'm going to put the link here. It's going to be 3 days of a total of 10 workshops and healing songs that will end each day. Incredibly beautiful, multi-discipline, multifaceted workshops that are fun and relaxing and just meant to be there to hold you, for you, if you happen to be a giver or a healer. This is especially for you. The 10 of us who are holding the space really genuinely want to provide an opportunity for our world, our community, all of us, each of you, to be held, to get what you need. And and to be able to enter this newness, all this humongous change that I feel our world is going through, in a way that's grounded, that supports our nervous system, supports our bodies, supports our hearts, our minds, our spirits, supports us in every dimension of what we are, who we are, so that we can navigate this time in a way that helps us to thrive, and also going along with that so that we each can be fully, completely, totally present to give and serve in the world in whatever way we are each uniquely meant to be doing that. So please join us. We've provided a sliding scale set of options, trying to make it extremely accessible as possible for you to be there. If you feel called to be there, please be there. And that's all. Okay. So you can find me at livingtheonelight.com. That's my website. You can email me at livingtheonelight@gmail.com. And then I'll put the link for the retreat, which is on my Teachable site, also Living the One Light on Teachable. But all of those links are also on my website. And you can email me if you have any questions at all whatsoever. Yeah. Okay. I hope to see you soon. I would love to see you at the retreat. And please reach out with any questions, any thoughts, any reflections on the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud, the asteroids, any of it. You also still can join the goddess series. It's still open. We are starting with our third goddess tomorrow on Hecate. Then next month, we're going to be going to Hygeia. And then the month after that, we'll be moving on to, I forget exactly what, anyway, the next set of 4 goddesses we're doing include Lilith, Erisina, Pandora, and a 4th one that I'm forgetting for some reason. Anyway, but those are coming up. So we're doing 1 goddess per month. I'm doing this with Verena Burrell. It's been really powerful, super beautiful. The 2 goddesses we started with were Persephone and Ceres, and those are both still up on the Teachable site there and available anytime to engage with and heal with and transform with. And yeah, engaging with these goddesses has absolutely changed my life over the last many years, and I am honored and love to hold space for that for you in whatever way is exactly right for you. Okay, and I'll put that link here as well for the goddess series. Alrighty, I will talk to you soon. Thank you.